Beneath the sunlit glory of ancient Crete, in the heart of the great palace of Knossos, lay a secret. A dark, twisting secret of stone and shadow. A prison that held an abomination. Above, King Minos ruled the seas, the master of a brilliant and powerful civilization. Below, he kept his shame. The Minotaur, half man, half bull, a monster born not of nature, but of a god's vengeance and a king's broken promise. This is the story of the Labyrinth, and the monster that demanded a bloody tribute, and the hero who volunteered to enter a maze from which no one had ever returned. But this story does not begin with the hero. It begins with the sin of the king. Minos, son of Zeus, was king of Crete, but his right to rule was challenged by his brothers. To prove his divine favor, Minos prayed to the sea. He prayed to the great god, Poseidon. "Send me a sign," he cried. "Send me a magnificent white bull, rising from the waves, a sign that I am the true king, and I swear," he promised, "I will sacrifice that same perfect bull in your honor the moment I am crowned." Deep in his ocean realm, Poseidon, lord of the earthquakes, heard the oath, and he accepted. The sea began to churn, the waves foamed, and from the surf a magnificent snow-white bull emerged. It was perfect, a true creature of the gods, its hide like pearl. The people of Crete fell to their knees. His brothers bowed. The sign was given. Minos was king. The day of the sacrifice arrived. Minos, now king, led the bull to the altar. But as he looked at the divine animal, his heart was filled, not with piety, but with greed. "It is too perfect to kill," he thought. "It is a masterpiece. A god does not need such things. I do." And so, in that moment, King Minos broke his sacred, unbreakable oath. He hid the divine bull, and in its place, he took a common, lesser bull from his own herd. And he sacrificed that one instead, hoping Poseidon would not notice the difference. He was wrong. Poseidon was furious. It was not the theft, it was the insult. "You love my bull so much, mortal king," the god whispered to the currents. "You desire it? Then I will make your family burn with that same desire. Your sin will become your legacy." He devised a punishment of perfect, poetic cruelty, and he called upon Aphrodite, the goddess of love, to deliver it. The curse was not for Minos. It was for his innocent wife, the noble Queen Pasiphaë. As she walked, the divine white bull of Poseidon wandered into her garden. Aphrodite's curse struck, and the queen looked at the animal, and she was filled with a sudden, maddening, and monstrous passion. She fell hopelessly, divinely, sickeningly in love with the bull. The curse consumed her. She could think of nothing else. She was sick with desire. She knew it was wrong, but the god's magic was stronger than her will. She had to have it. Desperate, she summoned the only man who could make the impossible possible, Daedalus, the Athenian genius, the greatest inventor in the world, living in exile at Minos' court. "Daedalus," the queen commanded, her voice shaking, "I must have that bull. Find a way." Daedalus was horrified. This was madness. This was blasphemy. But he was a prisoner of the court. Trapped, his genius turned to a dark, terrible task. "It shall be done." He went to his workshop. If the queen could not go to the bull, she would have to deceive the bull. He built a frame of wood, shaped perfectly like a heifer. He stretched a real cow's hide over it, making it look alive. He placed it on hidden wheels and built a hollow chamber inside. The decoy was complete. That night, they wheeled the hollow cow into the pasture where the white bull grazed, and Queen Pasiphaë, driven by the gods, climbed inside. The divine bull, seeing the decoy, was fooled, and the terrible divine curse was consummated. 9 months later, a scream of pure terror echoed from the palace. A midwife fled the queen's chambers. "A monster! A monster is born! King Minos stormed in. He saw his wife, and he saw it. It had the perfect, tiny body of a human infant, but the head was that of a bull. Minos collapsed. He understood. This was Poseidon's vengeance. This was his shame given life. He named it Asterion, but the world would call it the Minotaur, the bull of Minos. He could not kill it. It was his stepson. He tried to raise it, but the creature grew. And as it grew, its animal nature took over. It was a savage, uncontrollable beast, and it had a terrible, unnatural hunger. It would not eat grain. It would not eat cattle. It craved human flesh. Minos was trapped. His shame was now a cannibal. He couldn't kill it. He had to hide it. He summoned the one man who could solve the problem. Daedalus, your cleverness helped create this shame, the king hissed. Now, your genius will bury it. Build me a prison, he commanded. A maze so complex that whatever enters can never, ever find its way out. Daedalus, now a prisoner of the king, had no choice. He began to design his greatest and most terrible creation, a maze of 1,000 twisting passages, of stairs that led to nowhere, of hallways that turned back on themselves. It was built in secret, deep beneath the palace. A prison designed not with bars, but with confusion. The labyrinth was complete. The Minotaur, now fully grown, was forced into the darkness. A great stone was rolled into place, sealing the monster within. Minos' shame was hidden. But the labyrinth had one flaw. The creature was still hungry. But how to feed it? Fate provided an answer. Minos' own son, Androgeos, had been in Athens and had been murdered out of jealousy by the Athenians. Minos, in his grief and rage, declared war. He conquered Athens. He did not burn the city. He demanded a tribute, a blood price. Every 9 years, Minos decreed, Athens must send me a tribute. 7 of your noblest sons, and 7 of your most beautiful daughters, 14 in all. They would not be slaves. They would be food. Food for the Minotaur. The tribute was set, and for 18 years, the great city of Athens lived in a shadow of shame and grief. Its king, Aegeus, was a good man, but he was old, and worse, he was childless. He had no heir to save his city. Desperate, he had gone to the oracle at Delphi, who gave him a baffling riddle. Do not untie the bulging mouth of the wineskin until you have reached the heights of Athens. Aegeus, confused, stopped in the city of Troezen to ask his wise friend, King Pittheus, what it meant. Pittheus understood the riddle perfectly. It meant that the next woman Aegeus lay with would bear him a great son. Pittheus, a clever king, wanted that hero for his own line. So, he got Aegeus drunk and sent his own daughter, the Princess Aethra, to his bed. The prophecy was fulfilled. The next morning, Aegeus realized what had happened. He knew he had to return to Athens, alone. He took Aethra to a giant, heavy boulder. He placed his royal sword and his sandals beneath it. If you bear me a son, he commanded, do not tell him my name. Raise him, train him. When he is strong enough to lift this stone alone, then he may claim his birthright and come to me. A son was born. His name was Theseus. He was raised as a prince of Troezen. He was strong, brave, and obsessed with one hero, his cousin Heracles. On his 18th birthday, his mother finally took him to the rock. It is time, she said. Your destiny is under that stone. Theseus, now a powerful young man, placed his hands on the stone. With a great cry of effort, he lifted the boulder. He had passed the test. He took the sandals. He took the sword. He was the son of the king of Athens. "Take the ship," his grandfather urged. "The sea route is safe. It is fast." Theseus looked at the safe path. Then he looked at the land path. Heracles, he thought, would not take the safe path. "The land road is suicide," his grandfather pleaded. "It is infested with bandits and monsters." "Then," Theseus smiled, "I shall clear it." He chose the path of the hero. His quest began. The first bandit he met was Periphetes, the club bearer. Theseus, fast and clever, dodged the club, disarmed the giant, and killed him, taking the massive bronze club for himself. His second labour. He met Sinis, the pine bender. Sinis had a cruel trick. He would ask travellers to help him bend 2 pine trees to the ground, then tie them between the trees, and let go, ripping them in two. Theseus, pretending to help, overpowered the bandit, and he gave Sinis the same fate he had given so many others. He continued. He slew the Crommyonian sow, a monstrous wild pig terrorising the land, his fourth labour. He met Sciron, an old man who guarded a cliff path. He would force travellers to wash his feet, and then, with a mighty kick, he would send them falling to be eaten by a giant sea turtle that waited below. Theseus, expecting the trick, grabbed Sciron's foot, flipped him, and kicked him off the cliff. The turtle was fed, his fifth labour. Circean, the great wrestler, who challenged all passers-by to a match, to the death. But Theseus was not just strong, he was skilled. He used leverage and technique, and defeated the brute. And finally, the sixth labour, the most infamous. He came to an inn kept by a smiling man named Procrustes. "Welcome, traveller," Procrustes said. "Come, rest in my special bed. It fits everyone." Theseus saw the bed, and then he saw the axe and the mallet. He knew the legend. If a traveller was too short for the bed, Procrustes would stretch them, and if they were too tall, he would trim them. Theseus overpowered the madman. "A fitting end," the hero said, and he gave Procrustes a perfect fitting. The road was clear. The hero, now famous, arrived at the Acropolis of Athens. He was hailed as a saviour, but he did not reveal his name. He was summoned by the king. King Aegeus was overjoyed, but his new wife, the sorceress Medea, was not. Medea, the witch, knew exactly who this hero was. She saw him as a threat to her own power. "My king," she whispered, "this stranger is too powerful. He is here to kill you. You must poison him first." Aegeus, weak and paranoid, agreed. At a great feast, a cup of poisoned wine was offered to the hero. Theseus took the cup. "A toast," he said, "but first, allow me to carve the meat for my new king." He stood. And to carve, he drew his sword. King Aegeus froze. He knew that hilt. He knew that blade. "My son!" he roared, and he slapped the poisoned cup from Theseus's hand just as it touched his lips. Medea, exposed, shrieked, and vanished in a cloud of dark smoke, fleeing Athens forever. And the king embraced his son. The heir had returned. Athens had a hero. But the celebration was short-lived. A dark cloud hung over the city. "Father," Theseus asked, "why does the city weep? What is this?" Aegeus's face fell. "The tribute," he whispered. "The black ship from Crete has come." Aegeus told him everything. The war, the tribute, the 14 youths, the Labyrinth, the Minotaur. Theseus watched as weeping families said goodbye to their children, chosen by lot to be fed to the beast. His face, the face of a hero who had just cleared the roads of monsters, turned to iron. "No more," he said. He walked to the ship and pushed one of the weeping boys aside. "I will take his place. I volunteer as tribute." King Aegeus ran to him. "No, Theseus, it is a labyrinth. There is no escape. You are my only son." "I cleared the road of monsters," Theseus said, his voice calm. "I will clear the sea. It is my duty." His father, heartbroken, knew he could not stop him. "This ship," Aegeus wept, pointing, "it bears the black sail of morning." He gave him a folded white sail. "If you live, my son, if you defeat the beast, take down the black, and raise this white sail, so that I may see from the cliffs that my son is coming home." "I promise, father." And Theseus, the hero of Athens, boarded the ship of death. The black sail was raised. The ship sailed south, towards the island of the Bull King. Theseus, his hand on his sword, stared at the horizon. He was not going to be food. He was going on a hunt. The black-sailed ship arrived at the harbour of Knossos. The air was heavy with doom. The 14 tributes, led by a defiant Theseus, were paraded through the city. They were brought before King Minos. He looked at them, not as people, but as cattle for his beast. But someone else was watching, from the shadows of the throne. Ariadne, the king's daughter. Her eyes did not see the other tributes. She saw Theseus. She saw his pride, his defiance, his courage, and in that moment, the gods struck. Ariadne, the princess of Crete, fell desperately in love with the hero who was sent to die. The tributes were thrown into a dark dungeon to await their doom in the morning. Ariadne, her heart breaking, knew she could not let him die. But the labyrinth was impossible. No one could escape. No one, except the man who built it. She ran, in secret, to the workshop of Daedalus. "Master Daedalus," she pleaded, "you built this prison. There must be a way. How can he survive?" Daedalus, seeing her genuine love and hating Minos for his own imprisonment, decided to help. "The labyrinth is a perfect trap," he whispered. "Killing the monster is easy. Escaping, that is the impossible part. It is a maze of pure confusion. You cannot solve it with your mind. You must cheat." He handed her 2 things. First, a strong, sharp sword. "For the beast. And this," he said, handing her a simple ball of red thread, "is for the maze. Tell him to tie this string to the entrance. Tell him to unroll it as he goes. It is the only thing that will lead him back out of the darkness." That night, Ariadne crept to Theseus's cell. She pushed the sword and the string into his hands. "The monster is real," she whispered. "But the maze is the true killer." She told him Daedalus's plan. He looked at the simple ball of string. It was genius. "Why?" he asked. "Why are you, the daughter of the king, helping me?" "Because I love you," she whispered, "and I have one condition. If you live, you must take me with you. Take me away from this island of monsters." Theseus, seeing her sacrifice, gave his word. "I promise." Dawn. The great stone door of the labyrinth was rolled aside, a square of pure darkness. The 14 weeping tributes were forced towards the entrance. King Minos watched, his face like stone. As Theseus passed, Ariadne, hidden in the crowd, slipped him the ball of thread. He entered the darkness. At the very entrance, he knelt and tied the end of the thread to the doorpost. "Stay here," he whispered to the others. "Huddle, be silent." And then, alone, his sword in one hand, the lifeline of thread in the other, Theseus plunged into the labyrinth. He walked for what seemed like hours, turning, twisting, always descending. The air grew thick and hot, and the smell of a slaughterhouse. He heard it, a deep, wet breathing, a snort. He reached the center, an open cavern littered with the bones of the tributes from Athens, and there, in the center, sleeping, was the Minotaur. Theseus raised his sword, but the beast's eyes snapped open. It roared, a sound of pure bestial rage. It charged. It was impossibly fast. Theseus dodged, the horns smashing the stone where he'd been standing. The battle was a blur, a contest of brute strength versus human skill. The Minotaur grabbed him, its massive hands like vices. It lowered its head to gore him. Theseus, in the monster's grip, had one chance. He raised the sword high and plunged it deep into the creature's heart. The beast froze, a look of confusion in its eyes. It let out one final, shuddering breath and fell, dead. Silence. Theseus stood, panting, over the dead monster. He had done it. He turned, and he saw only darkness, twisting passages. He was hopelessly, completely lost. He panicked, and then he saw it, on the floor. The thin, red thread. He grabbed his lifeline, and he began to follow it, winding the string back through the impossible darkness. The maze was defeated. He emerged into the light. The 13 other tributes saw him. They gasped. He was alive. "The beast is dead," he said. "Come, we are leaving." Ariadne was waiting. They ran, a silent group, to the harbour, to the black-sailed ship. They set sail, just as the alarms of Knossos began to ring. They had escaped. But the story is not a happy one. They stopped at an island, Naxos, to rest. Myths vary. Did he abandon her? Did the god Dionysus command him to leave her? The reason is lost. But the act is remembered. He left her. Ariadne, the girl who saved him, woke, alone, on a strange beach. Theseus sailed for home. He was a hero. He had saved his city, but he was melancholy, cursed, and in his dark mood, in his haste to return, he forgot. He forgot his father's promise. The sail. Back in Athens, King Aegeus stood on the cliffs. He had been there for days, straining his old eyes. He saw a ship. His heart leaped, and then he saw the sail. It was black, the black sail of mourning, the signal of death. His son was dead. His grief was absolute. He had nothing left to live for. And so King Aegeus stepped off the cliff and fell into the sea that would, forever after, bear his name, the Aegean. Theseus arrived in the harbour, a cheering hero. "Father, I am home!" A messenger met him, weeping. "Your father." He saw the sail. He is gone. Theseus's triumph turned to ash. He had killed the Minotaur, but his own carelessness had killed his father. He had won the labyrinth. He had won the throne. But it was a victory soaked in tragedy.